40 of the Bullheaded Podcast. I am here again with Zoo and P-Bush. What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
Doing well, man. Watching some hot NBA gameplay this past week. It's been exciting to watch.
Man, it was actually a chill week today, man. It was a chill week, man. Not too crazy hours right now, man. Not too crazy.
Yeah, nobody mad at that, man. You know, like I say, it's been up and down week, I feel like, for me, looking at sports and type of topics we wanted to talk about. But we kind of stumbled across a, let's just say, probably controversial topic with the NBA, and we wanted to start talking about top 5 all-time NBA point guards. You know, a lot of people have their opinions on who they think the top 5 is. Like I say, this is everybody's opinion. You know, nobody's going to be held to the coals for this, but I want to get the guys' opinion on who they think their own personal top 5 NBA point guards. And I'm going to start with P-Bush, man. Who you got in your top 5, man?
Man, I always get put on the spot right away with these. Zoo, I think you and I will 100% agree on number 1. I think Magic Johnson is a pretty consensus number 1 point guard. He pretty much revolutionized the game when it came to being a big man and having guard skills. Obviously, Magic, he couldn't really shoot that well. He never
ugly jump shot.
He had an ugly jump shot.
It was ugly.
His mid-range was, hit or miss, but man, his interior gameplay was ridiculous. He had probably some of the best court vision, if not the best court vision of all time. He was graced being able to play with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and that was a mutually beneficial relationship. And look, he had an insane, I think it was 11, 12-year career. That was just the fact that he was able to accomplish all that and retire at a pretty young age, for obviously his outside reasons. But dude, this guy averaged, almost 20 points a game, over 11 assists, two steals a game. He's a 3 times MVP, Finals MVP, 5-time champ. He was nearly 50% winning percentage his entire career. When it comes to winning the NBA Finals. That's pretty damn good and rivals Michael Jordan in that sense. So would you agree on that number 1, Zoo?
Yeah, I gotta go with Magic Johnson. Like, this guy's career achievements, like relative to any other point guards, is not even close. Like, going to so many finals, like he lived in the finals. Like he lived in the finals. Like, the Western Conference back then was like the Eastern Conference right now. So it was an easy road to the finals every year. But he got there, man. He won more than he lost, so it's impressive, man. His team was so stacked, though. You got an opportunity to play with James Worthy, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Michael Cooper. Like, the team was so stacked that it wasn't even funny how good the team was. But they got it done, man. You get 5 titles, man. Man, that's all you can ask for a super team.
Yeah, and for such a short career. But my number 2, Zoo, and I got Steph Curry in here. I got Steph Curry number 2. Number 2, Steph Curry. I know he's still playing. He's got a lot of juice under him. He's had one of the hottest scoring stretches I've seen in my lifetime in the NBA, and there's been a lot as of since the NBA stopped playing defense, pretty much. There's a lot of players that have just had these insane stretches of scoring. We've seen Joel Embiid do it. We've seen Giannis do it. Plenty of other players, Jamal Murray, etc. But look, man, this another player who revolutionized the game in their own way. Magic did it, with the big men being ball handlers. Steph Curry, man, he came into the NBA and, extremely underrated out of college. He was personally, for me, extremely fun to watch in college. I think every fan thought he should be drafted. But if you're investing as a team, a lot a lot of people overlook this kid.
He weighed like a $180, man. A $180.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a small kid.
And he's a $180, and he does not have a Ja Morant's type athleticism or anything like that. So he was relying completely on his jump shot. He had some early injury issues, but man, this kid has had an exceptional career. I think we can all agree on that. The only knock is probably just that he's never won a Finals MVP. I think that's really the only knock.
He should have won it that 1 year when AD won.
Andre. Yeah.
Dude, he shot like 40% during that series.
Yeah, it was
a pick'em. It was a pick, on horrible efficiency. It was a pick'em for the MVP.
What did Iguodala do?
Yeah. 36,
he guarded
10,
him.
and 9.
He contained LeBron.
36, 10, and 9. It was a triple-double, man.
And the reason
LeBron shot worse is because he was jacking up so much shots because Dellavedova and Timofey Mozgov was the boys' sidekicks, man.
Yeah,
Timofey Mozgov was the second go-to player.
But look, Curry. I mean, Clay did not have a good series.
He was awful.
They weren't going to give it to Draymond, and Curry was not the Curry that he was that entire year. So they were going to give it to the guy who just kind of came out of nowhere and made the deciding difference, in my opinion. He was
Steve Kerr made a ballsy coaching decision.
No, Andy, because Steph Curry is guaranteed to get his. They needed another guy to step up, while the other two guys were just scrubbing it up in Klay Thompson and Draymond and all that. And here comes Iguodala, and he was the deciding factor. He stepped up as a veteran, and he earned it. I think he did earn it that year.
17, man. Nothing impressive about 17.
But it was efficient, and he tried to do his job on defense. And that's all I guess you can ask regarding LeBron.
I never seen LeBron so good in my entire freaking life.
And he still lost, man. So it's okay. We'll move on.
He lost because his team was doo-doo. Delly and Timothy Mozgov, man. Oh, my Lord,
man. The voters, they won't ever admit it, but they messed up on that bad. They messed up. They'll look back on that, and they'll be like, well, why did we do that? Yeah.
For sure. I mean, yeah, but at the same time, it's like, I would say only if Curry never wins a Finals MVP, and that's very possible.
Yeah. He ain't going back to the finals with this
unless he just joins a super team or something like that. But I got him at number 2. He's the best shooter in NBA history. You can't really argue with that. His career stats aren't standoutish. I think he's 23, 5, and 6. I mean, that's pretty consistent in what he's maintained over the years, but just his revolutionary aspect to the game and how much the NBA has changed since he's been in the league, and especially at his all-star level, I don't think you can really compare anybody else in that sense.
But we're 2 for 2, man. I have Steph Curry number 2, man. Steph Curry, this guy is the most lethal offensive force in the NBA right now, man. Him and Dame Dow, their ability to stretch the floor, they gravity pull, and his off-ball movement. I've never seen such a good superstar player that doesn't need the ball in his hands. Off the ball, his ability to move without the basketball, not many players have that ability. Because when you watch James Harden, LeBron James, when they're off the ball, they just chill in the corner doing nothing. They don't ever move. They need the ball in their hands to be effective. While Curry, he's the perfect complementary guy to another star. He's to play off the ball, his movement, his gravity pull, his impact on the game. Because what he's doing this year right now without Klay Thompson, who's the guy that's his ride or die, who always guards the hardest player, man. The guy spaces the floor along with Curry. So Curry's had the benefit playing with a guy that you can't leave that dude, so he's getting one-on-one coverage. But now with this roster right now, with James Wiseman and Kelly Oubre, Andrew Wiggins, Kevon Looney, man, bunch of nobodies, man. He's still dropping 31 a game. This dude's on another level. You legit have to double-team him the minute he crosses half court, because he gets one-on-one coverage, man, especially with the rules in today's game, man. It's too easy. It's too easy what he's doing right now. And obviously, I think he's one of the 3 players the most impact on the game of basketball.
Agreed.
In the game of basketball, the way he impacted the game, generations of young kids that if you're short, if you can hit a 3-ball and shoot 28-footers, you could be effective, because no matter how big you are, you're not going to go all the way out there. That's why he developed that deep 3-ball, him and Dame Dollar, man, shooting those deep threes, man, revolutionary, changing the game, man. It's great for the game. And Steph Curry, man, we're 2 for 2 right now, man.
2 for 2. You ready to move to 3?
Oh, man, you better not.
We might start straying. Right here. But don't worry. It's not the big overrated. Don't worry. The big O is not on my list.
Big overrated.
Oh, my Lord.
I got the OG Isaiah Thomas as my number 3 point guard of all time. I think that for me, him and John Stockton I will just say John Stockton's my 4th. I think they're probably the 2 closest that I have. I think that from Magic to Steph, there's a bit of a drop-off, and then not much, but there's a slight drop-off to Isaiah and Stockton. And then it kind of, it falls from that point, because we're talking about the only reason I end up putting Isaiah Thomas over Stockton as an overall point guard, not starting my team, well, whatever. I know we've had that discussion. Is this that he's the forgotten superstar of the 80s. I genuinely think he is. They're the filler team, as they like to say, in the Last Dance of that 80s, 90s NBA, between the Lakers Celtics domination and Michael Jordan. And they just kind of had that 2-year stint, as people like to say, that they just dominated the NBA. They just bullied people and pissed people off. That was their job. And he is probably the toughest point guard pound for pound the league has ever seen, I think, Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah.
The beatings that he took, I mean, you saw him. I mean, he's got a high ankle sprain and he's just limping up the court, dropping 30 in that game. Absolutely ridiculous. He's got a Finals MVP to his name. I think Dumars has the other one. 2-time champ, averaged about 19 and 9. 2 steals a game, which really, if you look at his stats, they're almost comparable to Magic Johnson, except that Magic just averages about 2 more assists a game than him for his career. They both average 2 steals, about 19 and a half a game, and both efficient. And a much better mid-range jump shooter than Magic Johnson. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah, and his handles are way better.
He's quick as hell, man. Quick as hell. Still didn't like to use his left hand that much. I think everybody back even through the 80s, man.
Sad. Right hand, man. Nobody had a left hand, man. No one had a left hand.
The non-dominant hand was just completely neglected for about the first 40 years of the NBA. And
so sad.
I think that's why you'll see Zoo and I stay in from 1980s onwards.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, no, there going to be no Bob Cousy's on this list.
Yeah, you gotta get out of here, Bob.
Hey, maybe get out of here, Bob. The only one is Pistol Pete Maravich. I think he would have been the flashiest player.
Ricky Rubio, man. Rubio.
Stop.
Man.
He's better.
Dude, if you put Ricky Rubio's in the 60s and 70s, guy will look like a legend, man.
Pete Maravich?
He ain't looking like Pete, though.
Oh, he would look like him, man. Right? Especially Ricky Rubio, man. Dude, these
Pete Maravich was like he was pretty much white chocolate before white chocolate, man. That was pretty much who he was back before the NBA was allowed to be flashy. In the quote of Wilt Chamberlain, that's what he says.
Oh man, bro. We're 3 for 3, man. We're 3 for that. Isaiah Thomas, man. I'm respecting the old dog, man. Yeah, you beat the Lakers dynasty and the Celtics dynasty, man. And I didn't think his roster was that talented. Like Dumar is a nice player, man. It wasn't that talent. There wasn't a super team.
We've been through this.
It wasn't a super team.
They had a stacked team, dude.
Okay, just because Norman Van Leer is a tough dude doesn't mean he's good. Like Dennis Rodman wasn't Hall of Fame level. Yeah, the guy was just a rebounder, man. Like, yes.
That's all he was at Chicago too.
Yeah, I know, man.
Scored a bunch of points.
He was actually quicker in Detroit than he was. He could play more perimeter defense than he did in Chicago.
Yeah, the guy couldn't shoot, man. I don't even consider him a true Hall of Fame.
They had 4 great scorers. They had Joe Dumars, they had Isaiah Thomas, Vinnie Johnson, and Adrian Dantley.
Vinnie Johnson, man.
They all averaged 18
Vinnie Johnson. Okay, he's a nice, cute player, man. Okay,
he gave 18. That's better than
dude. He's a nice little 6'2" point guard that can get some buckets. The man averaged 12 points his career. We ain't bragging about a dude averaging 12 points his career.
Vinnie Johnson?
Dude, he's a nice role player, man. He's a nice role player.
He was a 6-man, Zoo. You know that,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, he's a role player. The most he's averaged, 15 points.
Yeah, off the bench.
Yeah.
That's pretty damn good for back then.
Oh, but we're talking about these stacked super teams, man. With the Lakers and Celtics with multiple Hall of Famers.
Nobody was them, though.
They're all old.
That's what I'm saying. The ability to beat those 2 franchises.
They're old.
Incredible. Oh, stop, man. Stop. Dude, when he won? When he beat the Celtics?
All right, look, the Celtics, Robert Parrish at that point was getting up there in age. I think
Larry Bird was 3-time MVP, man.
Larry's Larry, man. Larry's Larry. But as you say, not one guy back then could not carry, which is why Magic and James Worthy could never carry the Lakers. They needed Kareem, but Kareem
they didn't. Without Kareem, they made the NBA Finals with Vlade D. You lost to Michael Jordan. Who cares, man? Who cares, man? Like that's what you expected, man. Magic Johnson is later in his career, man.
Not back
Him
then,
and James Worthy went to the NBA Finals without Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
That's
what I'm saying. The team was so stacked, man. The team was stacked.
That was not a guaranteed win for the Bulls in '91, dude. It
was
their first one, right? And they whooped them.
They didn't whoop them. They lost the first game, man.
And then they won 4 in a row.
Yeah.
That's like the Bulls and Heat. Would you say the Bulls gave the Heat a good run for their money?
They did. They were competitive, man. They just didn't close some games, man. They didn't close some games. If they don't foul D Wade for a freaking 4-point play, and LeBron hits a 3 in my face, man. If that didn't happen, they would have won 6 games. But man, it was actually competitive. But man, I gotta shout out to Isaiah Thomas, man.
He's
number
great.
3 point guard of all time. If I'm starting a franchise, I think that would be my order: Magic Johnson, Steph Curry, Isaiah Thomas. If I had to draft the point guard position, obviously I'm excluding the greatest point guard, LeBron James, but I'm going to classify him as a small forward.
Yeah, he's an all-around player.
Yeah.
All right, whatever. Okay. That'd be like me saying a power forward, I'll take Magic Johnson, and then I'll just put him at point guard. Whatever.
With the Lakers, he plays the point, though.
I know he does, yeah.
Like,
I mean, not recently, but yeah.
Not recently with like Dennis Schroeder, but without Dennis Schroeder on that roster last year, LeBron was playing point.
Yeah, he was. And yeah, I mean, I mentioned my fourth. I got good old Johnny Stockton there. I mean, I have to put him over some of the other guys. I had to put him over Big O just because I know Big O's Mr. Triple Double, but and Zoo, I will always say averaging a triple double no matter when, unless you're Wilt Chamberlain, is pretty damn impressive. I don't care what area you're in, but that still doesn't warrant him making.
Have you seen that man's jump shot?
I don't give a damn. Same with Magic.
Have you seen his handles? One-handed jump shot. One-handed jump shot. Oh my Lord!
Then how did he average 28 a game?
Because he was playing against plumbers back then, man. The competition back then was so embarrassing that this guy was a physical freak back then, like a big point guard back in the day. Are you kidding me? How many big point guards were there back in the day?
Not many.
Yeah, exactly. He was a 6'5" point guard. He was stronger than everyone. He was a better athlete and used that ability to like score down low in the paint. Obviously, with no 3-point shot, whoever dominates the paint dominates the game. So all the bigger dudes dominated the game back then. And back then, like, there's no big point guards back then. Like, it wasn't a thing. So that's why he was such an effective player.
And now big men suffer. So there's always going to be one position that suffers in how the NBA is cyclical, right? So I don't think you can knock that personally, but that's just me. But I got John in there. I mean, he's the all-time assist leader. He's arguably the best passer of all time. You know, Magic was good, and he's a great passer. But John Stockton was just a master craft. It was his master craft. No one could beat him in the pick and roll. He obviously had one of the best power forwards, controversially, of all time, in Karl Malone. And he was also a damn good defender and a great three-point shooter when you needed him to be. And I think that was pretty much whatever
he had some clutch shots in the playoffs.
Huge shots, man. He sent them to the finals. I mean, if whatever Jerry Sloan asked him to do, he would do it. I mean, you know, I still will always say, man, if he had the ball in his hands instead of giving it to Karl Malone in Game 6 of the '98 Finals, that might be a Game 7 there, because Karl Malone did not have the instinct to know that's what Jordan wanted to do, but John would have been facing the hoop the entire time.
You know what?
You don't turn your back to Jordan.
Big man, you're exposed, man. The post, man, the double team is so effective in the post.
But Karl should have also been aware of Jordan loves to do that and had been trying to do that against him the entire series, was coming up behind and stripping him. And he just let it happen, and it just slipped his mind, probably because he was nervous under the pressure. Let's be completely fair.
Mm-hmm. But he choked, man. He's a choker.
He did. He choked. Didn't deliver on Sundays, as I like to say. But I think he's the most true point guard of all time, John Stockton. If you're looking at a pure true point guard, I think that he is the epitome of that. He never does too much, doesn't make too many mistakes. And just because of that, even though he never won, just because of all the accolades he's had as an individual and at his position, I have to put him in my top 5.
Okay, that's where we differ, man. I got CP3, the true point god, baby.
That's what I got.
CP3 is better than John Stockton objectively. 18 points, 9 assists. First of all, let's talk about scoring. CP3 is a bona fide scorer, man. As a guy that's a 6-foot point guard, this dude, mid-range game, money. 3-point shot, money. Can carry an offense, lead a pick and roll, be a leader on a team, turn franchises around. Charlotte. No, not the short. In New Orleans, man, when he went to New Orleans, made them relevant with David West Tyson Jr. Leaves them, goes to the Clippers. Clippers were irrelevant for an entire decade. He goes there, him and Blake Griffin, they become a playoff contender every single year. Leaves them, boom, goes to the Houston Rockets, man. Goes to the Western Conference Finals, man. Going Game 7 to one of the best teams of all time in the Golden State Warriors with Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson. Boom. And then after that, he goes to the Phoenix Suns. First year, they're a top 2 seed in the Western Conference Finals. This guy is the definition of impact. All the advanced analytics number, box plus minus win shares, he is like all-time, like top 10, top 20 of all time, man. His impact on the game is underrated, man. Out of respect to Isaiah Thomas of what he's done in the past, I might have put CP3 above him. Yes, I said it. CP3 over Isaiah Thomas on impact, man. Because Chris Paul, as a basketball player, He had 0 flaws in his game, man. 0 flaws. His only flaw was that his parents weren't taller, man. His parents weren't taller, man. If he was 6'3" to 6'5", he might be in the condition of like one of the best basketball players of all time. Like his only limit is his size, and that's actually a big weakness because in the playoffs, obviously for smaller guards, it's harder on their bodies with like injuries and ability to play against these big centers in the playoffs, man. Going to the paint, man. His body couldn't handle it, but his skills and talent and leadership ability, my lord, CP3, man, he maxed out at 6 foot, man. Dude, this guy's incredible, man. His talent, like his impact, man, is up there with Curry, man. I'm saying, man, he's up
out of here.
Yes, I'm saying it.
What did he do to revolutionize? What did he revolutionize?
He didn't revolutionize. He is the definition of a point guard. Like you said, the most complete point guard of all time is John Stockton. No, it isn't. CP3 is his ability to score in the mid range in the pick and roll game, immaculate to watch, man.
He can score everywhere on the floor. Everywhere.
Mid-range, great at the floater game. Get in the paint, man. Make layups, man. Really strong dude for a smaller guy, man. Really strong. He's like built really well on defense. Like you can't even have bigger guys.
Low center of gravity, man.
Yeah, exactly.
For the NBA.
True, man. He try to post the dude up, man. Can't post him up, man. The guy's really strong for a smaller dude. So like Chris Paul, man. This dude high efficiency his entire career. 87 from the line, 47 from the field, 37. Like high efficiency, low turnovers, high assist, low turnover game, man. Kobe White needs to take some point guard lessons from his idol Chris Paul, because this everything Kobe White don't have in his game, CP3 does have. Like if CP3 was as tall as Kobe White and had his height, Jesus Christ, man, he would be a lot higher on this list. A lot higher.
Look, Zoo, there are players that have accomplished more at the same size than CP3 has. You could use Allen Iverson as an example. Same height, carried his team pretty much by himself to the NBA Finals, and he lost.
Okay, I give you that. Okay, he was impressive.
So my point is that
he won in the Eastern Conference. You gotta take that into consideration. It was very impressive. His team not that good. He had to Kevin Mutombo. They had one of the best defensive teams ever because like that's all they relied on, just defensive grinding and AI on offense. And AI on offense. And that's pretty much it. And that worked for them. But you gotta take into consideration the conferences. That's why when like LeBron's finals appears, impressive. All those finals is in the Eastern Conference. Like the only threat was Boston Celtics. Yes, I said it. Yes,
you finally said it?
Yes,
that's about damn time.
I've been saying the East have been a joke for the last 2 decades, man. The West was a joke in the 80s.
Yes,
the Eastern Conference has been a joke for the last 2 decades. Outside of like the Boston Celtics and Detroit Pistons, those were some legit teams. But outside of those teams, like you got some nice, cute teams, but like Toronto, Atlanta, like stop it, man. Bunch of nobodies, man.
I know you've always not disregarded the East, but kind of set them on a slightly lower pedestal than.
They're a joke, man. I don't know why, man. Maybe the general managers in the East are all stupid or something because they make some stupid decisions in the East, man. Some dumb GMs.
All I'm saying, Zoo, is that you never verbatim said that you attributed that to LeBron's slightly easier path to the finals.
He would have less finals appearances. Yeah, he would definitely have less finals.
Absolutely. And we've seen that as he's been in the Western Conference. He might go 1 for 3, man. It's very possible so far. He might go 1 for 3 of even making the finals. Yeah. Okay? So we're not going to get into that. But look, CP3, he's my number 5. I'll give you that. He is my number 5. I think he's the best floor general of all time. I think he's in on all fronts. I mean, he can literally create a new defensive scheme for a team. Like the Suns, we've seen them completely revitalize their team, and it's really just been him as the only addition.
Dude, only addition, man. Him and Jay Crowder, man, turn this franchise around.
Look, I personally, Zoo, I get that he went to the Rockets and he's playing alongside Harden. They have a damn good team.
They dominated. It won 65
but then he choked. Games. But then he choked.
He hurt his hamstring.
Okay, sure, fine, whatever. But
the
rest of his career, he has choked in the playoffs. Besides that 1 year, he has choked in the playoffs. He had a
game winner on the San Antonio Spurs in a game 7.
Can't even. Okay, that's what in the first round.
That was But that was an elite
And then what
team.
happened the next round? Did he lose to the Grizzlies? Probably. That Grizzlies team? They couldn't beat that Grizzlies team?
That Grizzlies team was good, man. They beat Kevin Durant.
They had a lot of
They beat
players.
Kevin Durant.
Zeus,
They beat Kevin
you
Durant.
can't be hypocritical
They went to
in
the
that
conference
sense.
finals, man.
Zeus,
Grizzlies team went to the conference finals.
That team. You used to hate that team.
Of course I do. It's all defense, grit and grind, man.
Tony Allen, all them. Mike Conley.
Tony Allen, all NBA defender,
Look,
man. But
all my point is that Chris Paul is the epitome of a regular season player that I would want for all 82 games. But playoff time comes around, man. There are other point guards that I would rather have. I might rather have Lillard by the end of his career. I would rather have Steph Curry at the end of his career.
I don't know. Wait. Dude, Steph Curry in the playoffs. I have
Better
not
than
seen
CP3?
I have not seen him elevate.
At least he averaged 26.
I have not seen him elevate his game in the
all right,
playoffs.
sure.
I would see incredible MVP season, like some of the best regular season games of all time. He would hit such shots with confidence. But I have noticed in the playoffs, like Steph Curry with the physicality upped a little, with allowing like no more like easy calls in the playoffs. That physicality impacts him, especially in the finals. Like seeing the Cavs like DM up, like Dellavedova gave him problems. You actually saw like the physicality of Dellavedova just busting his butt off because that's pretty much a third-string point guard getting an opportunity of a lifetime, man, trying to make a name for himself. And he made a name for himself and got paid $9 million by the Milwaukee Bucks, bunch of morons. But yeah, Dellavedova gave him problems because he was a bigger dude, like 6'4" guy. He's a good athlete, pretty strong guy, and that physicality gave Steph Curry problems. And we've seen it time and time again in the playoffs. But yeah, obviously, with the size limitation of CP3, that's the only limitation. But like,
it is.
Chris Paul in the playoffs,
one of the best minds.
Yeah,
one of the best minds.
But Chris Paul in the playoffs in his first playoff series on the
against the Spurs,
dude, 24-11. I've never seen a guy dominate so well, man.
With that 360 and one, I remember that. I had his jersey.
Yeah, I had his jersey too. I got his jersey from China.
That turquoise one. Dude.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, dude, Chris Paul, this dude, as a small point guard, man, like, oh my lord, like he peaked like super. Yeah, like as rookie to like sophomore year, man, this guy was incredible. Like in his like third year, he was supposed to be an MVP candidate with Kobe Bryant. Like he was that good. Like he was up there with Kobe as one of the like the 4 or 5 best players in the NBA. So I don't know about like he had some. I would say he had some epic fails, like as I remember a couple of those. Like you chuck a couple of 3-1 leads, man. Like that's pretty bad. But
multiple.
The like Chris Paul, like
4. I think he's lost. Has he lost 3 or 4 3-1 leads in his career?
No ways. They can't be that much, man.
How many of those were with the Clippers?
I just remember the Rockets.
2 of them are with the Clippers, and then the Rockets one.
Yeah, the Rockets one where they blew the lead against. When he was on the Clippers, he blew the lead against the Rockets and lost to Josh Smith.
Well, I don't count the Clippers one because they're just their franchise sucks. I don't triple that to Chris Paul.
Dude, but
because listen, it happened to Kawhi and Paul George.
Franchise.
It happened to Kawhi and Paul George last year. So
that's embarrassing,
bro.
I agree. Blowing a 3-1 lead, that's a straight up choke job. Like if you up 3-1, you're the better team, man. And outside of injuries, like if your best player gets injured and you lose, okay, that's scrap it. But with no injuries and you lost 3 straight after going up 3-1, that's a straight up choke job by the coach, by the superstars. Everybody deserves blame. So I give you that. Chris Paul had that epic collapse, but so did Steph Curry.
That's true.
He blew a 3-1 lead.
That's true.
Against the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they were they were the better team. They were the better team. I watched them. Like Sean Livingston, like the bench mob was unreal, man.
Sean Livingston's the best mid-range jump shooter.
Oh yeah, that's all he shoots. He
never
shoots threes, man. Like, oh my lord, dude, I feel like one game of Steph Curry, that's like one season for Sean Livingston for 3-pointers, man. But yeah, dude, the bench mob was incredible. That roster was built perfectly against the Cavs, and they blew it. The physicality affected him, impacted all the shooters, man. So even like, but you can even call out Magic Johnson when they called him Tragic Johnson, man, with some of those turnovers, running out of time. Like he didn't know the shot clock, man. The shot clock in a freaking NBA. How does that happen? I just saw the boy dribbling, and I'm like, bro, look at the shot. He pulled a J.R. Smith. Magic Johnson pulled a J.R. Smith. And we can't forget about Isaiah Thomas turning the ball over. Was that Larry? Woo!
Yep.
So even these superstar players had some of these epic moments of failure.
But they've all been in the finals before. That's really the only argument at the end of the day. You play the game to win, man. You don't play to make – I mean, sure, it's a job and you want to make money, but if you're playing it at that level, you're playing for the ultimate – that's the ultimate thing you can reach in a sport, man, is getting that trophy. And I guarantee Chris Paul would trade a couple of the years that he's had for one.
That Rockets team, man, they almost pulled it off.
Yeah, they should have pulled it off.
That team
was like that was
he should have played with Kobe.
When they went up 3-2, I was like, wow. Yeah. This is so mind-blowing because I thought no team could touch the Warriors. That was the greatest roster I've seen ever constructed, but damn, man.
Now, Zoo, if Stern hadn't vetoed that trade out to the Lakers.
Oh, him and Kobe?
That would have won a championship. Guaranteed.
Him and Kobe?
Absolutely.
Oh, my God.
I agree.
That team would have been. Yeah, oh, my Lord. That is a better version of that Suns team right now because Kobe's
two of the best
way better than
IQs
Devin
in the
Booker,
game.
man. And Chris Paul in his prime, man. Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Have mercy, man. That team would have been ridiculous.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. I think Lamar Odom was on that team too. I think that might have been when they made the Shaq trade or whatever and whatnot. Yep. So because a lot of people don't even talk about Lamar Odom. I think he's one of the most skilled guys that's ever played. Like you go back and look at a lot of his tapes, like he's a lot of passing, dribbling. And people forget he was 6'10", 6'11". He wasn't no 6'6", 6'7".
He was a point forward, man. Point forwards were rare back then.
So that would have been you had those three guys just on the floor at the same time running around. Oh man. Would have been lights out for the league. Yeah, lights out for the league for real.
Chris Paul and Kobe.
I hope they one day come out with a documentary, or not even a documentary, but like somebody does a tell-all where I guess because there had been meetings about like why they got vetoed. Because I think what they tell us.
No, they own the team. Like, they own the team.
The NBA
owned the team.
But why though?
Because they didn't want to lose their one superstar. They were going to lose a hell of a lot of money.
I just want to hear I wanted to hear the story to why, because now that's encouraged. So it's like, what was the difference? Because what year was that? Was that 2009 when they were going to do that? What year?
I thought it was
2010. Yeah, it was like post after Kobe won 2 titles. So, yeah.
So it's like, okay, what's the difference from that? And then LeBron went to Miami. Like, what, a couple years later?
Yep.
Like,
it was 2011. He vetoed it in December of 2011.
That's weird.
So it would have been CP3, it would have been Kobe, and I think it would have been Powell. Right?
No, I think Powell was in the trade.
Was Powell in the trade? Okay.
Powell was in the trade.
Oh. He might have been part of the 3 team. It might not have been going to the Pelicans, but they would have had a young Bynum, right? That might have completely changed Bynum's career if he was playing with CP3.
Lobs.
Dude. Bynum's
lobs. He could have. I mean, dude, think about that mentorship he would have had too if CP3 and Kobe were there. Kobe and CP3 would have checked each other.
That team would. Oh my.
Yeah,
that's the greatest backcourt of all time.
Could have been.
Yeah, could have been.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. It's top 5. There's no argument for me. I was hoping somebody was going to put CP3 in there, but thank God you guys did. I just think he's been in a lot of situations where I can understand he's blown a lot of 3-1 leads, but he's just such a competitor too. Like, he really is the complete point guard. Like, he holds people accountable.
He has no flaws in his game. What's he bad at? What's he bad at? I can't think of a single thing. Like, what's he bad at? Like, even as a position, he's a good rebounder.
Defense, that's it.
Yeah. He could be a jerk. That's it. That's the only thing he's bad at. He's just.
He loves kicking people in the balls, man.
Yeah, that's it. That's all you can really say. So yeah, CP3, but rest of those guys, man, they definitely that top 5. Like, I don't think many people are going to argue that unless you get somebody from like 50 and up, and they're going to of course put Big O in there and a couple other guys. So. But any of the modern day analysts and people who are talking about sports now, they're kind of going to, they're going to put their.
If Bob Cousy played in today's game,
Sam Jones,
he'll be him and Archie Diacono fighting for a bench spot, man. Lord, I'm not even joking. Yeah, the snow back then is just so. He dribbled with one hand, man.
He would have adapted. He would have adapted. Just.
Are you sure, man?
I mean, he wouldn't be in the league if he didn't adapt.
Yeah, it might be a difference. The guy might have been a lawyer instead of a basketball player, man.
Sure, and because he would have realized it, and that's fine.
He might have been a lawyer, pretty good lawyer, but nah, he would have been. I won't do Cousy like that. I think he could be a 6th man, 7th man on the bench. I don't think he's like out of the league because any guy that makes. I think any era. If you made it on an NBA roster in any era, you could, like you say, people should say, you can adapt. Like, that doesn't mean you wouldn't be as nice as maybe you was back in the day, but you would adapt. You would adapt and be on the team still.
Like you said, he might be an Archie Diacono.
Yeah.
But Arch is in the league, man.
Yeah, he's in the league.
For who knows for how long, but he's in the damn league.
Still don't know
Just
how
like
he's in the league.
Dellavedova was.
Thanks to LeBron, man. He better be making commission off of Dellavedova's salary, man, because he got him paid.
Dude. David Blatt gave him a contract.
Dellavedova could play defense though. He wouldn't.
Oh, yeah,
He could D up. So yeah, I give him a little credit for that. But yeah, LeBron made him. But switching to the last topic of the night, we're gonna quickly talk about the Knicks. I mean, I think LeBron put up a tweet. I don't know if it was today or yesterday. He was just like, basketball is just better when New York is like actually good. And I just keep hearkening back to like when the Garden is like completely open and it's like 100% capacity whenever that day comes, and they're still playing like this, man. If the playoffs, oh my God. And don't let it end up being like a Brooklyn. I don't know how the seeding's working out, but don't let it be like a Brooklyn, New York, like playoff. Oh man. Talk about
Spike
good
Lee
times.
versus Jay-Z.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. That'd be a really good matchup. So I want to tell the guy or ask the guys, what do they think about the Knicks? Do you think they're legitimate? Do you think they can carry this momentum to the off season? Maybe recruit other free agents down the road, things of that nature. So, Zoo, what's your take on the New York Knicks?
Yeah, this New York's team, man, reminds me of the 2010 Chicago Bulls, man. Grit and grind on defense, man. Their defense in an era of all shooting, all spacing, like elite offensive skill players, man. They actually can play deep. They're holding people to 104 points a game on an 8-game winning streak, man. On a roster that's just not that talented. Like Reggie Bullock is an important basketball player on the New York Knicks. Like they lost their center and Mitchell Robinson. They put Nerlens Noel in, and they're fine on defense. Like he's an elite rim protector. Like what Tom Thibodeau did this year was magical. Like turned Julius Randle into pretty much a point forward, averaging 24, 11, and 6, man. Like this guy is putting up superstar numbers. RJ Barrett having a career second-year season, bounced back from I thought a pretty unimpressive rookie season, putting up 17 points, improved his shooting drastically. I don't know how. Become a 39% shooter. I feel like everybody in the NBA is a freaking 39% three-point shooter now. But I don't get it, man. There's like a shooting explosion right now. But what they did with this year, like even with like the old school Chicago Bulls players, shout out to D Rose and Taj Gibson, still in the NBA. Gibson. They're the new bench mob, man. They're legit the new bench mob. Like along with Isaiah Quickly. Isaiah Quickly, the rookie, he's a nice little scorer off the bench, nice floater game. Like what they're pulling off this year, like what Vegas had projected, they were going to be a bottom 4 team in the East.
Yep.
And now they're a top 4 team in the East. Crazy. Like this is incredible. The Knicks fans should be happy of the present and the future, because what they're doing right now is showing we're building a winning culture. Obviously, you still got the city behind them. We're figuring about the dumb owner, and you got an elite head coach with a management that knows actually what they're doing. They made the nice pick with Isaiah Quickly. Obi Toppin looking like a bust right now, which I predicted. True. Looking like a nobody. Like Kevin Knox, that guy. Yeah, man. Trade. Yeah, man. But what's his face? Kevin Knox looking like a bust too. I thought he was actually going to be good, but damn, he's a bust. Like they had a bunch of busts at fours that they drafted, but their roster right now, and what the Chicago Bulls should be up there with the talent they have. We got 2 All-Stars, and we went out of the fucking playing tournament.
You want to know why?
We're the 12th seed.
Because management gave up on Thibodeau because they thought he worked his players a little too hard.
God, I love a coach pushing his players.
Generation, man.
So freaking soft, man. These guys are multi-millionaires playing a kid's game of shooting hoops, man. Grow a pair. Go to the gym. 2 a day. Whatever, man. Put in the work. And what the Knicks are doing on defense, they're putting in effort, unlike the Chicago Bulls with the worst pick-and-roll defense I've ever seen. Are you kidding me? You set a screen, a wide-open 3. You set a screen, a wide-open mid-range. The Knicks, they actually fight through screens. They actually help on defense. They trap on defense on the best player. Oh, he's going off. Maybe a double team. Oh, my Lord, they actually know how to play defense. And what Thibodeau, coach of the year. Thibodeau should be coach of the year. No question. Doc Rivers, shut up. Thibodeau pulling off a miracle, man. He turned out a pitiful franchise, getting lottery picks after lottery picks. But, man, this guy wanted to win. Brought his boys in and D-Rose, Taj Gibson solidifying the bench with veteran presence, man. D-Rose still balling as a six-man, putting up 15 points a game, man. On a cheap contract, $7 million for a six-man guy that could get buckets, man. What a cheap deal, man. He makes $4 million than Archie Diacono. Stop it. He makes less money than Cristiano Felicio. He's got his fat ass. He got his fat ass on the bench. He hasn't played a single minute in 2021. 2021. He hasn't played a single minute, man. This dude's making less than Cristiano Felicio. Fuck you, Garpax. But my lord, the New York Knicks reminding the Bulls, man. Shout outs to them, man. Good, man, because they got a bright future, and they might be able to attract some future free agents.
Yeah, and you want to know why? Because they have the lowest payroll in the league.
Yeah, they do.
They have a lower payroll than the damn Oklahoma City Thunder that are literally trying
to lose everything.
I think they're one of the most obvious tanking teams since the original Philadelphia 76ers before trust in the process. And, I mean, I have not seen a team that has had zero coverage on any sports outlet that I've seen, and that is the Oklahoma City Thunder, man. I have not seen one story on them. I mean, I feel bad for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander because I feel
he's balling. That's who the Bulls need. Give us Shai.
Yeah.
Give me all our picks.
He's so good.
But dude, I'm fascinated, first of all, that this is their longest win streak in like 8 years. So their win streak is equal to the amount of years that they've had this long of a win streak, and in 8 years ago, with the actually good Carmelo Anthony and, late version of Amari Stoudemire on the New York Knicks, man. LeBron's not wrong in his tweet. I mean, it's the mecca of basketball. I think everybody can agree about that. MSG, you got Spike Lee standing on the sideline. Obviously not this year, but hopefully next. And if they have an exciting team, look, they have a lot of guys right now that have just they bought in to whatever Thibodeau's telling them in practice, obviously playing defense, just saying, we're going to give teams a hard time and we'll get easy buckets off that. And we're just going to hope to win every game. And they pull out all these overtime wins. They're pulling out close wins, that's a good sign because one, it means they trust each other, right? They trust whoever's taking the shot. Even though they could give it to Julius Randle every time, he's kicking it out to RJ now because he trusts him to make his 3-point shot. Kicking it to Alfred Payton. D-Rose coming down.
Alfred Payton is in the starting lineup, and they're winning games, man.
Yeah.
Alfred Payton and Reggie Bullock.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so, I mean, look, they have Mitchell Robinson, who was a huge loss for them because he was their anchor in the middle. But somehow Nerlens Noel and Taj Gibson are just tag teaming it right now. And they're getting it done out of nowhere. And the biggest thing for me is they are the number one team defensively in field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, and points per game. They're number one. They're giving up 43% field goal percentage, 32% from three, and they're giving up less than 105 a game in this NBA
era.
That's ridiculous.
Incredible.
And I think any team should take note. Maybe Sacramento, Timberwolves again. All you need is to have Tom Thibodeau as your coach, and he's just got to bring Derrick Rose along because he seems to be revitalizing every single team that tandem goes to. He revitalized Chicago from the Baby Bulls era. Revitalized the T-Wolves for a little bit there before it all
with Jimmy Butler, man. They made the playoffs the first time with Thibodeau.
Playoffs for the first time. And look what he's doing with the Knicks now, man. They made that deal back in February. I am pumped to keep watching this Knicks team. I can't believe I'm saying that. And the only thing I'm hoping for is let's just hope it's not a Cinderella and it just happened to fit perfectly for 1 year. They really need to build on it. And, hey, man, everybody wants to live in NYC, so you can always attract people.
Yeah.
And there's a couple people who are interested.
Yeah, what they're doing this year is the Brooklyn Nets formula. Yeah. You have a nice young roster, show your confidence, show you have a good coach, good management, not a stupid management making dumb trades. They made some smart trades this year and building a young contending roster, winning culture. And then whenever the free agents be like, because they're always going to be free agents that are going to be unhappy. These superstars, they're like, I'm not winning. I'm demanding a trade. You're going to look at your options, be like, the Knicks are actually doing something like pretty interesting. Yep. You add me and get a sidekick along, another superstar that you want to play with. They get 2 max spots. Boom. Go to the Knicks. You win a championship with the Knicks. You're a legend. You're a legend.
Legendary.
Yeah, you're legendary, especially also in the Eastern Conference. That's always helpful too. So with that combination, man, Zion Williamson in a couple of years, him and RJ Barrett are buddies. They've talked about wanting to play together. These are
he makes
facts.
it that long.
Oh,
RJ,
yeah.
I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Not Zion.
Oh,
No hate on RJ. Let's hope he's still on the Knicks.
yeah, but I'm saying RJ Barrett is a key recruiter.
Yeah,
he could sell him on the Knicks. They've wanted to play together, and maybe Zion Williamson, like he ain't gonna be staying on the Pelicans his entire career. No way in hell. Maybe after his first max extension with the Pelicans, that last year of his contract, he tells the Pelicans, pulls an AD, being like, "Deuces, I'm gonna leave." Boom, trade options, be like draft picks, some nice young players, trade them over, get Zion Williamson, and then after that, you get another starter pair with Zion. It is highly likely because he openly said that I love Madison Square Garden. He enjoyed the question of asking him, "Do you like it here?" He got a big smile on his face. He doesn't want to live in New Orleans.
Ear to ear, man. He was smiling.
Man. Dude.
But look,
and he would fit perfectly in a city like New York, man.
Sure.
Dude, Skywalker and Zion Williamson, Jesus Christ, his global brand will explode. Because like New Orleans, such an irrelevant franchise, even though the roster is actually pretty damn good. Brandon Ingram, all-star. Zion Williams, all-star. Lonzo, nice starter player. Like, they got a nice roster. Steven Adams, nice starter player. They have a good roster, but they're just underperforming. Like pretty much what the Knicks record is, the Pelicans should have that record based on the talent level. While
the coach is awful.
Oh, Stan.
Oh, I don't
Stan
know
Van Gundy, he's from a different era, man. He's from a different era, man. Like, this dude,
They're just trying to catch the wave of signing a big name guy.
Yes. And he got paid a lot too, so they're not going to fire him. Like, you got a 5-year contract. You don't want to pay that dude a couple $1 million every year and fire him. You're making him work, man. You're making him work.
Especially if they're not going to bring in much ticket sales if the Pelicans keep
the
playing.
Smoothie King. God damn, man.
Smoothie King.
I forgot about that.
Smoothie King.
Pelicans, man. What a sad franchise. And David Griffin, man, looking like he's just a byproduct of LeBron James.
Yeah, exactly.
Greatness,
talk
man.
about it, Zoo. Yeah,
everything he touches turns the go. Oh, you were the GM of LeBron James. Look at all the players he brought in. I'm like, bro, it's just LeBron James recruiting players because you get all these cheap veterans on veteran minimum deals that are trying to ring chase. Same thing with T. Lue with the Clippers. Oh, my Lord, man. Doc Rivers, whatever, man. Same situation. No big impact, man. He's just a coach. He's not a great coach. He's just a regular average coach. So, like, the LeBron James impact is strong. David Griffin obviously made some poor decisions in the hiring of a head coach and some of the signings of players like Steven Adams. I think he really fits with Zion Williamson, man. Hopefully, David Griffin, hopefully AK makes a call for Lonzo Ball. Ball, we need a true point guard, man. And he can hit threes now. So hopefully they make another noob decision and trade Lonzo Ball away. We'll give you the finisher and Laurie Marketing, man.
Yeah, the last thing they need is another power forward, Zoo. Let's be honest. But
dude, they want some shooting with Zion, man. They'll play no defense, but their offense will be real nice.
Dude, but for me, Zion, I thought Zion was, one, it's obvious that he's going to eventually leave. I think, Zoo, you're right. After like his 6-year mark, I would say in New Orleans, something like that, he's going to be out via trade because they don't want to lose out on just him walking. Man. Right. So the only thing for me is like, if Julius Randle is still their number one guy at that point, does he fit well with Julius Randle as being that 1-2?
They're going to trade Julius Randle. That's what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. Like
they'd have to bring Ja.
Yeah, exactly.
They'd have to bring Ja.
Exactly. Like the D'Angelo Russell situation with the Brooklyn Nets, man. They had D'Lo, Karis LeVert. That's some nice young players. All those guys can get shipped out when the big all-stars, superstars be like, we want to come to the Knicks. They're going to ship them off, do a sign and trade. Boom. Like Julius Randle will be a prime sign and trade, man. That's what's going to happen.
Their stats aren't that different.
That's low-key true. But what Zion's doing...
Yeah, I played him 2 nights ago.
But this dude can't even drink alcohol legally, man. The man is 20 years old, averaging 27 and 7 on 62% shooting.
All I can say is I'm sure Zion's looking forward to having his first drink in New York City when he turns 21, man. That's probably what he's going to do. No, I'm just kidding.
Man, Zion
And
Wilson,
he clearly wants to be in a bigger market. I just
obviously
hope he prefers, hope he
brand.
prefers the cleaner of the two major cities in the United States and comes to Chicago. That's what I'm hoping.
Oh my Lord, he will. He's out. He loves Jordan Brand. Love Chicago Bulls. Oh, he will look so nice in a Bulls uniform.
He's gonna go to what? He's gonna go to either the Lakers. He's gonna go to the Knicks, or he's probably gonna go to like the Bulls or the Heat. I could see those being like the four big name teams that he would go to. Maybe
a lot of those guys
not in their current state.
If you think about it, like because Ja and Zion same draft class, and then after them was LaMelo. Like a lot of those guys are in super small markets. So it is possible that you could see in however many years, like wherever Zion goes, whatever city he picks, that next star is going to be, do I want to go stay, get the max here? Do I want to go throw lobs to Zion? Do I want to? And like I say, this is so many years away. Everything can change, but it's just in terms of Zion's going to be the domino. Pretty much where he goes, if he keeps up how he's playing, scoring, and expanding his game and just becoming this, elite, number one, number two guy in the league. And the same thing for Luka. But we're just talking about Zion right now. Like, if he becomes that guy, he's going to be a domino effect. Wherever he goes, best believe that next guy coming out of that class, whether it's LaMelo or even Ja in the same class, we don't know. Listen, two South Carolina kids, like they could be on the same.
They'd be calling each other up. They'd be like,
Yeah.
imagine us together. Exactly. They're gonna be at All-Star games joking about playing together. We just gotta hope AK puts the Bulls on the map so we can get it done when the young Bulls want to join forces, man. That's all we gotta do. The Brooklyn Nets formula, man. The Brooklyn Nets formula is what these big market teams have to do, man. Because it's by far the best strategy. Instead of tanking, you make your team look good and be attractive and have some nice players. And then the superstars come calling, make a sign and trade. Boom, you get the superstars, and then you're in championship contention.
Yes,
that's the formula.
Or you entice teams that are trying to move weight, right? Like if Zion and Ja both sign extensions, but they demand a trade, they're going to be looking to get those young assets back. They might not even do like sign and trade situation. They might they need to get them off the books for something else, right? They don't want to lose out. But look, man, the Knicks have a ton of money to spend, so they might be spending it a little bit earlier than on Zion. So it'll make things interesting.
Yeah. Man, but you just got me thinking about Zion and the Bulls uniform. You got me dreaming again because my Bulls looking real bad right now. Now I got dreaming about Cade Cunningham now because we needed a top 4 pick to keep it, man. We ain't losing our pick. If we lose our pick and we miss the playoffs, that's
double
gonna hurt.
whammy.
Because it might be if it's a 5 to 10 pick, that could be a good player. Like in a good draft, even if it's outside of top 4. That could be an all-star caliber player from this highly touted draft. So if we lose that and we miss the playoffs,
I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh my God. Why are the Bulls so bad and the Knicks are so good? What's going on, man?
Thibs,
what is going on?
Thibs. Like you said, man, everywhere Thibs is gone, he's shown that he's a great coach. Now, like I say, I don't think a lot of people appreciate his, brass. His brash and, his overworking of the players. But, I mean, it's producing results. Like,
Zion, Julius Randle and RJ Barrett lead the league in minutes.
Yeah. It's crazy. That's his MO, though. He's been doing that forever. And I get why players and maybe management, whatever, they may get tired of it. But it's like, to me, those type of coaches work. Those type of coaches work because if they're winning, it shouldn't even matter. It'd be different if he was doing that and they lost. Like if they were losing, like Stan Van is the polar opposite. He does all this, in the media, saying all this stuff, saying the guy's got to do all this stuff, but he's losing, so it's not resonating. Like Thibs is winning, so I wouldn't want to play all those minutes, but if you're winning games, like that's what the goal is to win games. So shout out to Thibs, man.
Especially when they don't have as much raw talent, and I think he realizes that. So he's like, we have to differentiate in another way, and that's my specialty. That's what he's saying. He's like, I know how to differentiate a team that might only have one option scoring to kind of make it easier for you guys, like get in fast break, off turnovers, all that stuff.
Plus, too,
makes their life so much easier.
Plus, too, if you think about it, a lot of these coaches, man, like the ones that win in this league and do well, I feel like, or at least have a way of their players galvanizing and coming through in clutch moments, are the defensive coaches. Look at Vogel. Look at him. Look at Nate McMillan down in Atlanta. On the Instagram, bullheaded_pod. Make sure you guys follow that. going to be putting up a lot of, unlike we don't talk about baseball here, I will sometimes throw some baseball highlights in there. So if you guys like that, you can see that. But it's mainly,
that's all
NBA
you need, man.
NFL.
Don't need to watch the game. Just watch the highlights, man. That's all you need, man. 1-0. You just got to watch that one home run, man. That's it.
Couple diving catches, yeah. Usually when I'm doing my highlights for baseball, it usually is either a home run or a diving catch. So you're right about that. Mm-hmm. But I do all kind of highlights for the account. So make sure you guys follow that. Make sure you follow us on Apple, Spotify, Anchor. Trying to see if I can get us on Stitcher. I've been having trouble trying to get it to link up on the Linktree account. So I'm going to try to send out some tests tomorrow and see if I can get it on there. But as usual, for me, P. Bush and Zoo, we're out.